0.
Oh. Oh. Think my mic was muted. Yeah, my mic was muted. That's why no one can hear.
Do you need me to literally create a podcast for a channel that I can just upload?
We're good now. My freaking mic was muted. Yeah.
Hey, Stampy just put something on YouTube 4 minutes ago.
Wait, what?
Premiere.
Alright, can we get back to podcasting now since the microphone is fixed? Anyway. So, hello everybody, this is Akirathenephilim here, and today I am with Roger the Assassin. Again! For like the... This is like the 3rd time that we had to say that. I just realized that this is the 3rd time that we had to say that because the last 2 podcasts, freaking no one can hear anything.
Yeah, and you can barely hear me, but I guess that's okay because, well, I'm different.
Yeah, and I just realized I got 3 viewers watching right now.
But again, we'll say if you guys don't like what we say, don't watch us.
Yeah, it's a disclaimer. Like I said, what we're about to talk about or review or whatever we say in this podcast is only
what we think or what we know about a specific thing.
Yeah, so... And to anybody that we're talking about, though, don't think of this as an attack. Think of this more as us expressing our opinions and what we think. Or even if it's not an opinion, just think of it as something that... Or just think of it as an opinion. I don't know how this stupid...
Yeah. And again, we will state, I will state again, if you guys are huge superhero fans, like I myself am, I recommend 3 different channels for you to go watch different things about superheroes. Top 10 Nerd, The Nerdist, and Because Science and Nerdist do a lot of things about such things as why you wouldn't want super speed or super strength or other things like that pertaining to superheroes.
Yeah.
And if you want something anime related, me personally, I would suggest 4 different YouTubers: Akibeers, The Anime Man, Misty Chronexia, and Noble, who are all 4 great friends with each other. So.
Yeah, and if you if you're into like debates, though, like for example, if you're like into debates of which fictional character would win, when there's not Screw Attack Death Battle, which again I have nothing against Screw Attack. I just think that because there's death battles even so.
Attack digging through the people that they use past and everything. They don't do the right amount of research.
Well, if you watch almost all of the death battles, there are death battles that they have made that they done complete research of, and that they done complete research of and used in their battles. It's just that what I think but what I noticed is that some of the death battles though are more, yeah, because so yeah.
Trying to walk through my own house.
I mean, like, again, like I said in the last podcast, though, or the podcast that we've had the other day, is that I'm not against like the death battle, the Jin versus Ryu death battle, though.
You just need a little bit more information about each one.
Yeah. So, for anybody.
Research sometimes, but other than that, great
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, like, another great YouTuber that also does death battles is Mighty Raccoon.
Yeah. I've never watched that YouTube channel, so I can't really comment myself about what Akira or Nephilim is saying, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was one death battle that they've done, which they done two completely different versions of one of the same thing. So, like, it was a death battle between Deadpool versus Dante from Devil May Cry.
I remember there's one between Deadpool and Deathstroke.
Yeah. Which I do have to say, but for now, the first topic of the video, or now let's get to the topic, which is more political, I should say. If you ever watched the news, if you ever watched enough of the news. But
I tend to not get into political stuff, so.
Yeah.
This one's all you, brother.
Yeah. And what I say, and quote me if I'm wrong though on some things, because there's like some news channel YouTube, and I only watch like a little bit of like TV news, but I mostly watch like the kind of more of news channel. And before I even go on each, and before I even talk about it, I do check that if what they say is true or not. So don't try to say that you're just going off by what one person says. I do fast check everything before I say something. So yeah. The first thing I want to talk about, which happened a few months ago, was Donald Trump going to North Korea and basically attempting to do the whole denuclearization there. For those people that says that Donald Trump has done something really good, that he's basically going to North Korea and basically getting them to denuclearize is something like no other president in the United States has done in the past. One thing that I do have to say about that is that when Donald Trump went to North Korea, he did jack shit there. He basically did nothing there. Except for talk about like something more like real estate, or building something, what was it, like some building that he wanted to have that he wanted to build over there. What ended up happening is that there was a news article where it says like, North Korea was more improving on the nuclearization bases though, or the testing sites. So basically, in a way, and that was confirmed by CNN, so basically in a way that Donald Trump actually did nothing to help. So yeah. So people that says that, oh, Donald Trump had pulled off like something that no other president had done before. For one thing, he did not achieve anything by going to North Korea. So yeah. And for another thing, that I also noticed, though, that also proves that he's pretty much the worst president in the United States. Again, for those that are more like, again, this is my opinion, or this is my opinion. So you can just think whatever you want to think. If you think Trump is the greatest president in the United States, after all he has done, then that's you. But basically, what basically pissed me off, though, about him is that he basically came up with something that housed immigrant children, though, in like these cells, almost like these like kind of I wouldn't really go that far to call it concentration camps, but that's what it seems like it is. Basically, huh?
I mean, I've seen a little bit about what he said, and it does. And if you guys have ever heard anything about the Holocaust and all that, basically what Donald Trump is doing is basically almost the same thing with the housing that he's making.
Yeah, and what's even worse, though, is that he was separating children from their parents, their siblings.
Yeah, and that is something that's just wrong on so many levels, in so many ways.
Yeah. So
it's like, how did he like it if like him and his family tried to flee to another place and he ended up getting separated from his kids?
Honestly,
like, seriously.
Honestly, I would think if that were to happen, I think what he would do is probably even freaking probably even betray the people that's close to him. Probably even, or the people that's close to him that tries to help, other than his family. Because he's that corrupt.
Yeah, and what he is doing is wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. And there was something about the G7 meeting, too, that Donald Trump did. That basically pissed off, like, friggin' some of our allies. Some of this country's allies, though. Especially with Canada. Which, I don't remember what he did, but I think it was like trying to impose tariffs on Canada or something. Even though tariffs are...
I don't know, but I tend to try and stay out of that kind of thing, so...
Yeah. I'm actually...
I don't really get into political debate, so...
Yeah. I'm not like...
You guys don't hear me talking anything about this because I don't really like political debate, and what the hell?
Wait, what?
Sorry. Something just flying around in my house. But I try not to get into political debates and stuff, so...
Yeah. I mean, like... And the thing is that I'm trying not to, like, have a political debate for a long time, though, only because of how controversial it is kind of is, especially with, like, there's Republicans and Democrats and all that. It's kind of hard to have a debate because, yeah, so way too many people have way too many different views on it. But I just want to put that out there for but I just want to talk about that for a little bit because the last debate that I had or rant that I had that happens to do with politics was the time that was the whole Syria, what was it, like Syria bombing? Though?
I don't know.
Yeah. But that was about it. That was like the only time that I done like a political debate, though, because if it happens to do with like affects people's lives, like in life or death situation, then that's when I get in. But if it's like something that happens to do with just non-life or death situation, just more like, oh, this guy shouldn't be in office, or oh, this guy shouldn't get this job, or oh, this guy should have a job, then I tend to just stay out of it. So yeah. Now let's get more into what our channel or what our podcast was, or what this channel is mostly about, which is mostly like anime, horror games, TV shows, and movies type of podcast.
Yes. Well, and I will say again, you know, for any of you guys that want us to do like a specific type of podcast eventually, either put it in the comment section in our band's channel, Canine Apocalypse, or Nephilim's comments, or put it in Nephilim's comments on his channel, and we'll do research and we'll have ourselves a little talk about it and, you know, give our honest opinion.
One thing that I do have to say too is that, what the hell was that? Oh, that was probably the radio. Never mind. One thing that I do want to say, do want to point out is that freaking, for now, what the heck? No, I'm switching over to Billy. Freaking Rebecca's walkie-talkie keeps on interrupting me. Huh?
Apparently you can't multitask. I'm sitting here reading while talking.
No, like, I can multitask, but the problem is that I have my headphones on. And I freaking can't turn down the freaking volume unless if I go all the way back into the main menu. The heck?
Usually you can control everything from the pause menu.
Hold on, I'm turning down the freaking volume. BGM effects, because I really... anyway, the one thing that I want to say about that I want to say about this channel, which I don't know if you up to it, Roger Assassin, is like kind of creating our own scenario type of death battles, but not like in an animation format, more like kind of...
Yeah, it's like talking about it and giving facts and all that.
Yeah, which that was pretty much an idea for this podcast.
Resident Evil.
Though.
I mean, I guess we could do that, but we should leave it up to our viewers to decide what kind of podcast they want to see or hear from us.
But yeah, that is true. But for now, but for now, because we don't even know how many people will be watching this podcast, we should kind of start it off. So how you want to do it? Because I don't know that much about DC. I know a little bit of certain Marvel heroes, and in terms of anime, I know a little bit more.
I know a lot about DC and Marvel because I grew up a big, superhero fan because of my parents, mainly my dad. And so I grew up watching, Iron Man and, all that kind of, I grew up watching the Iron Man flashes and all that.
Yeah.
But I also grew up reading the comic books as well. So I grew up reading the DC and Marvel comic books and each of the characters silly cat. My cat's just sitting here being silly.
Yeah, and for me, I grew up like, and for me, the only like superheroes that I grew up like freaking watching and reading about as a kid was like the Hulk. It's like the Hulk, Deadpool, freaking Martian Manhunter. I read back when I was little. I read a lot of like manga of Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. So, so to say, and what was it, Ghost Rider, and that's about it for like Marvel and DC heroes. All the other heroes I end up hearing about and learning about when around high school. So, yeah.
Yes, I had years to get used to it because as a kid, my dad.
Yeah.
And even though I don't go and see him much anymore, but you know, I still get the occasional message from him, like, you know, Happy Valentine's Day or Happy Birthday, Happy Christmas, Happy Easter, whatever.
Yeah.
Or, you know, those kind of things. But I don't see him very often, so. But that's because I don't have to go to his house because, well, I used to have to because of my parents being split and divorced, so.
Yeah.
And I gotta say this, for all of those that are listening in and having their parents go through a divorce, it is tough.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know, because when my parents got divorced, me and my sister were only able to go see our dad every other Sunday or every other weekend. And that led to a whole thing where, and it was so like, we would go like, the weekends my dad would have us, we would try to do a lot of fun stuff during the weekend and like go see movies or, you know, just generally just, you know, chill, you know, all that, and just catch up. You know, tell what was going on at school and everything like that. But we would generally try to do fun things. We'd usually eat out because that's how my dad was. Sometimes we would have, you know, we'd wake up and Dad would have already made breakfast. So, but it's a good thing. It's not bad that that your parents go through a divorce. It's harder more on the kids than it is on the parents, like it was for me and my sister. It was harder on us than it was on my mom and dad.
Yeah, it's even harder for people that doesn't even know one of their parents because, like, they would split up right before that said child is born.
Or they'd split up when the child was very young, so couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And they'd be raised by one or the other. They'd either be raised by their mother or their father, depending on which one could financially support a child.
Yeah.
And see, when our mother and father broke up, our dad paid child support.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped her as well.
Yeah.
That helped her with, you know, allowing her to buy us clothes and the food and all that.
Yeah.
So I guess him paying child support really did help in multiple ways, and that was one of the ways that he helped us was by paying child support and everything. But now I don't see him as often because I stopped going every other weekend to his place because grow out of it. And trust me, I know, because I've grown out of wanting to see my dad every other weekend, being excited about seeing him every other weekend. Now it's just I could care less how many times I see my dad, just as long as I know, you know, he's still okay, he's, you know, still alive.
Yeah.
And I get that in the form of his messages saying, like, Happy Easter or Happy Holidays around, like, Christmas time and all that.
Yeah.
Or my mom will get a text, or, you know, we'll get other thing, and I'll message him and I'll be like, on Father's Day, I'll message him and I'll be like, Happy Father's Day.
I know this wasn't how, like, the part of the live stream, part of the podcast was about to go, but this is one, like, topic that we do have to, that we do have to put out, though, before. And also considering that I have no idea how to get to the next mission, I'm just gonna use the pause menu as just a background.
But yeah, see, and for all those out there that may see this video, that are seeing this video now, or will probably see it when we're done with the whole live stream, and you'll hear about it from a friend. For all those that are whose parents are going through divorce, if you're like 8 or 9 years old or older, like 9 years or 8, like 7 years old or older, it's tough. And I know that because I went through it with my parents. So if you guys ever need someone to, you know, talk to or anything like that, just, you know, send me a message through our band's YouTube channel, and we can talk about it, and it helps to talk about it and everything, but it also helps to be able to see whichever parent you don't live with.
Yeah, but I think for now we should stick with. So yeah. Alright, so let's.
I'll say again though, if you guys have a specific type of podcast you ever want to hear, like a debate on YouTubers or anything like that,
yeah.
send us a message in the comments of either our YouTube channel, our band's YouTube channel, K9 Apocalypse, or Nephilim's YouTube channel, and we'll get to it at some point eventually.
Yeah.
And we will do it. It may not be immediately.
But we will do it. Oh yeah, and before we get to like who would win versus podcast thing, I do want to say that what was it? I do want to say that like I said before, if you have a different opinion or if you think differently from the characters that we use in this kind of debate of who would win, then or if you basically, like I said, there's some characters I don't really know that much about, so
and there are a lot of characters that I do know about that James doesn't.
Yeah.
Nephilim doesn't.
Yeah. So, yeah. So basically, either put in the comments section or Assassin, you may want to like kind of correct me on. But
and if you've got something wrong, I will correct you about the specific hero if I know more about them.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's start. So first off, because for some reason I was thinking of High School DxD, Issei from Issei versus, let's see, who can we put them against though in it from Marvel or DC?
There's not really anyone I can think of that would really work against Issei with him having his sacred gears, because of the sacred gear he has, which makes him way too powerful.
Okay, so how about Captain Marvel then? Just the sake because of his weird perverted power.
Oh, Captain Marvel? No, his power stems from an ancient, well, I say, an old wizard type god.
No.
At least from the backstory of him that I remember from the comics and everything. And so that's the whole reason he yells Shazam when he transforms from his kid form as Billy to Captain Marvel.
Oh wait, no. Wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. I used the wrong hero, not Captain Marvel. Dang it, what was it? I'm trying... How about Black Widow?
An international assassin.
Assassin. What about Black Widow?
As I said, she's an international assassin, and she works for the agency SHIELD.
Yeah.
But before that, she went through a training program. She was originally Russian. So, she went through a Russian training program for kids, which they called the Red Room, which basically taught them to use their abilities to kill, and they also injected her with many different things, one of them being a thing that basically slows down her aging process.
So...
And everything, which also gives her, which also makes her stronger, faster, and all that. So, there is also the fact that in the Red Room they sterilize the people that they train, so that this way the one thing that really matters that's more important than a mission.
Yeah.
Which means that operative, if they're female, can't get pregnant, and the male operatives can't impregnate anyone.
And that's a backstory, and yeah. And for Issei's backstory, if you ever watch High School DxD, basically he used to be a normal everyday guy, which is also a bit of a pervert. Till one day, which I think he was walking.
Sorry, I'm messing with the kitty.
Till one day, I think he was walking home. I don't remember too much of what happened in the very first season of episode 1, but no, it's fun. You know, it's funny how you're doing that, and
your little heart's just a racing. Sorry, again, talking to the cat.
Yeah, we're still live, by the way.
I know.
Anyway, so Issei was, before he got his powers, was just a everyday character, and everyday, what was it, high school boy who was basically have a perverted mind. Huh?
Basically everyday high school guy who's always perving on the girls?
Yeah. Till one day, I think he was coming home from school, or walking home from school, till he ran into a girl that asked him out. Turns out that while they was on their date, though in front of, I think it was a water fountain, that she basically kind of basically left him for dead. And yeah, the girl that he ended up, that basically stabbed Issei and left him for dead, was a fallen angel. So therefore, for some reason, Issei was picturing Ria's grimoire as he was dying.
Yeah. And that's when his blood ended up on the card, on that little thing he had gotten from the one person who was handing out those little card things.
Yeah.
And it basically summoned her.
Yeah, and soon after that, and like I said, I don't remember too much about it, but I don't remember too much about the first 3 seasons, but I do remember more of the characters, so you're probably gonna have to explain the, like, bits and pieces of his strengths and weaknesses, as I'm going over some of the characters that he met and all that.
Well, I guess his strengths actually stem, everything he can do, like all the fighting he's able to do, stems from his sacred gear.
Yeah.
Don't even ask me the name of the fucking thing, because I don't even remember the damn thing.
Red Dragon.
Yeah, and then there's also the White Dragon Sacred Gear, and according to the creator of High School DxD, there is what, I think 13 Sacred Gears or something like that.
Yeah. But
and Issei having a Sacred Gear. And we already know of 2 of them, which are the Red Dragon and the White Dragon.
Yeah. But anyway, so after basically Issei basically became a devil, though, he meets
the way he woke up.
Yeah. He basically, I'm not gonna include why and how he woke up in this podcast.
No, if you guys want to learn how Issei woke up after the whole being brought back as a devil by Rias,
he basically woke up. Hold on. Alright, I'll be there in a. I don't know, I'll be there in a little bit. Sorry, my family walking, but anyway.
If you guys want to figure out how he woke up, go search up High School DxD Season 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1, and watch it from there.
But for now, I'm just going over by the characters that he meets so far. So, next off, the very next day, after he wakes up, though, he went to school. He went back to school. He ends up meeting Akano and Kaneko. And then later on, he meets Asuya.
Actually, he first meets, oh jeez, I think he calls him, I don't remember what his real name is, I just call him Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
The blonde, I believe he's blonde.
I completely forgot about him, though. But
yeah, he ends up meeting him because that's the person who comes into his classroom to get him, to take him to, well, the club room.
And now remember, because as he called Issei to the club room and was getting him, some of the girls in his class was basically dissing Issei as well, but
plus they were kind of fawning over Pretty Boy, as I
yeah.
like to call him.
Anyway, so so then he meets Akino and Kaneko. Skipping ahead a little because, like I said, I'm going over some of the characters that I remember, and some of the characters I still remember because I'm still currently watching season 4.
Okay, but how about we just get to the whole point of this and
yeah.
do a comparison about to see which one we think, based on facts, would win.
Yeah. In terms of combat strength.
In terms of combat, Black Widow has Issei beat 1,000 times over.
And that's only with the first, and we're using Issei from the first, or I should say part 1 Issei, before he gained...
Issei.
Yeah. Like, the Issei when he first gets his sacred gear.
Yeah. And then Devil Issei
is more like...
He's not as good at combat, but he's better than human Issei.
Yeah. And then...
He can react faster than human Issei ever could.
Yeah, and we're not using the...
But he still couldn't react fast enough to the combat skills and level of Black Widow.
And we're not and also, for those who also watch season 4 like I do, we're also not going to be using the Issei from season 4 because, well, not only for like the ages audience though, because his powers are kind of more perverted, but we...
And then if we look at Devil Issei with a sacred gear, again, it ups his speed and strength.
Yeah. And also the one thing that I do have to say about part 1 Issei is that the only power that he can physically get stronger is his boost. So,
yeah, that I remember.
So really, in a way, Black Widow would have beaten Issei because in part 1 Issei, because back then his...
would have obliterated Issei. What are you on about?
Hey, I'm just pointing this out there for those that are more like high school DxD fanboys and fangirls. That's... Yeah.
Human Issei would have gotten obliterated by Black Widow.
Yeah,
Whereas
so...
Devil Issei still could technically get obliterated.
But he would have a little bit more of a fighting chance than part 1.
Yeah, than human Issei. And Devil Issei with sacred gear. Well, do we really want to get into this conversation?
Yeah.
Go on for hours.
Yeah, I mean, like, one thing too is that...
Fighting chance is that he'd have a better advantage with the sacred gear than he does without sacred gear.
Oh yeah.
He actually would have a chance to potentially end.
Yeah, and also the way that Black Widow fights, though, and her tactics, what she will do is that she probably learn about Issei eventually, though, and what his strength and what his hobbies are and all that, and she can probably...
Weaknesses, such as with Devil Issei with the sacred gear, meaning he can't touch crosses. So she'd use that to her advantage, being the assassin she is.
Now...
She would probably deck herself out in crosses, but still make it to where she could move as nimbly as she does.
Yeah. But now...
No matter what part Issei goes to grab on, say, without being perverted, like, say he goes to grab her by her sides to like throw her over him,
Yeah.
he would still end up burning his hand. Horribly,
Yeah.
I might add.
Yeah. Alright, so that was it for Issei and Black Widow's, like, debate of who would win. The other one that I also want to get to is Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul versus, I don't know, who would be a good matchup for him?
Oh.
And
If we're going... Oh.
and I would say...
with DC-verse, I guess if we really want to go hardcore and stick with the whole magical theme like we did with Issei and Devils,
Yeah.
I would definitely have to say Dr. Fate or Dr. Strange.
That's actually that's the thing with I don't know about putting Dr. Fate or Dr. Strange in against Ken Kaneki though, because
Well, you gotta think with their advantage over magic and Dr. Fate's advantage over having way more knowledge of magic than anyone to exist. Because of how many different people who wielded magic that the helmet has gone through.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of years, I'd say thousands, if not millions of years worth of magic knowledge stored in the helmet of fate. That someone would put on to become Dr. Fate.
Yeah, but...
Which would be a significant advantage over Kaneki.
Yeah, how about we just put Beast Boy against... how about we... Not Beast Boy, but... Dang it. Because the reason why I said that I don't think the Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate would be a fair match, because... You also gotta remember that with Kaneki, he has Rize's Kagane, so that, even though he can probably use that as a long-range attack, but freaking long-range attack, it wouldn't...
For short range.
Yeah.
So, I guess if we want to pit him against someone who's good at both long-range and short-range fighting, you would have to at least either go... I guess you would probably have to go either Batman or Robin, or...
Oh, I got it. What about Red Hood?
Red Hood has more guns, but they all are good at long-range combat as well, because Batman and Robin with the Batarang and Batarangs, and Green Arrow because of, bow and arrow. Plus, he's also good at hand-to-hand combat just in case he loses his bow.
Yeah.
And then there's the Red Hood, a.k.a. Jason Todd. A former Robin supposedly killed by the Joker.
Yeah, but I think for now, considering with Batman, we're gonna stick with Batman and Kaneki, and for Kaneki, I would say that...
And since Jason Todd was taught everything he knows by Batman...
Yeah.
Kind of defeats the whole purpose of and the whole reason he even uses guns in the first place is because when Batman had originally thought Jason dead,
yeah,
so ended up replacing him with a new Robin, which I don't remember which Robin it was, and I know it wasn't Tim Drake. Or no, it was Tim Drake. Because the only other person that I could think of that's good with long range and short range combat is Nightwing as well. Because Nightwing was another Robin, aka Dick Grayson.
Yeah. But I think, but for Kaneki, I would use, like, I call it post Kaneki though, because after, and I'm talking about the Kaneki after he kills Jason, or Jason after he gets kidnapped though, but, and also along with like using, also because Batman would, and also to kind of like put in.
Now with Batman, we have the problem of which Batman are we using? There are multiple different universe Batmans in the DCEU.
I would say.
MC. I don't remember which one Batman's in. I believe he's part of the Justice League, and I believe Justice League is part of the DC universe. So now you have the different types of Batman. There's normal Batman, Bruce Wayne. Then there's Vampire Batman, which is actually a alternate version of Batman that isn't Bruce Wayne, but instead the specific scientist that turned himself into Man-Bat.
Yeah, and then you got Batman Beyond.
And a bunch of others as well.
Then you also have Batman Beyond, but
yeah, and then there's Batman Beyond, the Batman Beyond Batman, which is, well, technically Bruce Wayne's son.
Yeah, but
as Batman.
But the Batman that I'm using is like the very first Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Still Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Batman. Okay.
So
with that one, of course, for all those who aren't superhero fans, we should probably go through a backstory for him. Which, long story short, when he was 8 years old, his parents were gunned down. And they never found out who their murderer was, who the murderer of Martha and Thomas Wayne was. So he eventually, to help others and to protect people who couldn't protect themselves and protect the streets of Gotham, he eventually went to what I remember from
the League of
comics and everything. He went to train with Ra's al Ghul, which is where he learned how to fight in the first place.
Which basically, if I remember correctly, wasn't it like the League of Shadows?
And League of Shadows.
But yeah, that's pretty much the short version of it. And
when he returned to Gotham after training with the League of Shadows, he took his knowledge and instead of using it to kill,
he uses it to save.
Yeah, he uses it to save, but also he doesn't really kill his enemies because he has a set code.
Yeah. So anyway, for those that are not really, and for those that doesn't know Ken Kaneki, like if you haven't really watched Tokyo Ghoul or read any of the manga or any of that, short backstory of his is that one day Ken Kaneki was with Hide, his best friend, at a coffee shop, till a girl named Rize comes into the coffee shop. Why did I say coffee shop? I meant coffee shop. Coffee shop. But and Kaneki sees Rize. So therefore, Kaneki asks Rize out. Therefore, he didn't know that Rize was Ghoul till she kind of almost nearly killed him. But luckily, still beam fell fell on Rize before she had a chance to finish Kaneki off, therefore putting Kaneki in a hospital and therefore getting an organ transplant, which transplanted some of Rize's organs into Kaneki, therefore making him a half-ghoul. Then like
I believe the main organs that were transplanted was her eye.
Yeah. And then
I don't think he had any other organs of hers that got transplanted except her eye.
Well, technically, I think it was technically the organs would be more internal though, because in Tokyo Ghoul Red there's a special CCG like group called the Crinks that also has like that also went through the same surgeries though of becoming half ghouls like Kaneki. And all this
He only ever had the eye implanted. From what I remember.
But anyway, so later Kaneki meets both Nishiki and Toka, where Nishiki nearly strangled Kaneki to death till Toka kind of saves him, and then yada yada yada. Toka pretty much got mad at Kaneki because of him complaining about him don't want to be a ghoul, and yeah, Yoshimura kind of stepped in all that, and then later on I'm gonna skip through like the other characters that he meets though, because like I said, trying to keep this short. He does get captured by Jason, which is a ghoul who was originally captured by the CCG, but then slowly went insane after being tortured. So, but the reason why he captured Kaneki is strictly because Jason can smell Rize on Kaneki. So then later on, yada yada yada, Kaneki basically had a mindscape with Rize, and Kaneki pretty much devoured alcohol mindscape Rize, therefore giving Kaneki total control of her Kagane and also the sweet white hair.
Yeah.
And a whole new personality as well. And then later
You don't say.
And then later on in the manga, Kaneki gets killed by a CCG operative, and then turned into another CCG agent Crinks named Heisei Sasaki, which Heisei Sasaki ends up losing his memories and don't remember of any memories before of Kaneki's. So then later on, he pretty much gains those memories back, but he no longer be called Heisei Sasaki. He's been called Kaneki. So, but for the sake of this debate, we're gonna use Kaneki we're gonna use Kaneki from both Season 1 and Season 2 of the show. So, Batman. Batman is more versatile in terms of, I would say, in both. Yeah. And
He's got like basically everything anyone could need. Smoke bombs, whatever.
Yeah.
Concussion grenade, things, flashbangs, all that kind of shit.
So, and also Batman can also, I would say, more intelligent in terms of combat. So.
Not known as the world's greatest detective for nothing.
Yeah. So, and if it's like intelligence versus intelligence, Batman would win. But in terms of
versus intelligence,
I mean, like,
if we're thinking Kaneki's intelligence, then yeah, Batman totally outdoes him. But if we're talking intelligence in general,
Yeah.
Batman really has to think when he tries to solve the Riddler's puzzles.
Yeah, and also, with the intelligence versus intelligence in terms of like combat, though not as like intelligence in general, Batman would have a little bit more of an advantage than Kaneki because even though Kaneki is smart, and everything, he still kind of turns psychotic in a way because of the freaking, like I said, because of the ghoul that he got a transplant of is more like a binge eater. So yeah, at times he kind of turns psycho. So anyway, in terms of close range combat, I would say that if it was hand to hand, Batman would still have a little bit of an advantage, would still have the advantage. Though if you're using like Kaneki after he gets his like transplant surgery, though because if you remember in Tokyo Ghoul, Kaneki didn't learn how to fight till, I would say, after he works at Undertaker. I forgot what that one ghoul named, the one with like the trench coat, but he was trained.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, and even after he trained, though underneath that guy, he still kind of struggled in the fight, but he was better at dodging. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
the first thing is, the first thing about this, the first could technically go either way.
Yeah. But for
Because of
yeah, I only got a few minutes left, so I just gonna have to. I only have a few minutes left because I can't keep this podcast up because of my work.
what are you guys doing here?
But what I would have to say, just to kind of finish this podcast up right quick, is that they're both really good. I would say in terms of like just raw combat, just no thinking whatsoever combat, I would say Kaneki would win in terms of that. Because for one, Kaneki is more, how should I say? He's not afraid to get his hand dirty in terms of killing his opponents. And oftentimes he would try to toy with them or leave them alive, but
Yeah. Whereas Batman, he has that whole no killing thing, so
yeah.
it leaves him more vulnerable to Kaneki because Kaneki won't be afraid to kill Batman.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the fight can go either way because one, Batman could probably knock Kaneki out,
Yeah.
and that would be the end of that.
And
And two, Kaneki could just end up outright slaughtering Batman.
yeah, or even if they're not fighting, and if it was just some crossover, if we're using like part 1 Kaneki though, the one that he can't control like his Kagane, then
Yeah.
Kaneki could
There
then
is the possibility of him just outright killing Batman, but not on purpose.
yeah, like he could accidentally like pierce through his chest with his Kagane without thinking, without realizing it. So yeah. So in a way, the fight could go either way, but in terms of like kind of fight to the death, Kaneki would have a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah, Kaneki would have an advantage, but there's also the point of even if they're fighting to the death,
Batman would still have an advantage because of his intelligence and quick thinking.
And his training with the League of Shadows.
Yeah. So
he knows more fighting styles than Kaneki.
Yeah, but if we're using Part 2 Kaneki, like I said, like from the second season, then the outcome
still has more fighting ability than Kaneki.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is Akira the Nephilim and Roger the Assassin, and we see you all next time.